He was in a different training unit. You said like it was completely the opposite, right?
Yeah.
See, like, we were in two completely different training things. All the guys in my platoon were homophobic. All the guys in his platoon were, like, super flamboyant, I think.
I don't want to say flamboyant, but they were, like, very okay with
chill with everything.
Well, it's a good thing you got put in that one, not the other one.
Well, granted, he trained with specifically... he had a combat MOS, so whenever he was training for it, he had a specific one, where I was just thrown in an infantry training company because I was going to be an 88 Mike. So they just said, fuck it, we'll throw you in there.
What's that have to do with anybody, like, being afraid of dicks?
Combat MOSs, I guess they're just more like, when you're going to be on those long nights with your male battles, what happens in the Humvee stays in the Humvee.
Shooting shots, taking shots?
When you ask your battle to send it, it means multiple things.
Also, for some reason, Special Ops has parachute packers?
Yeah.
Why? Why did
Because you gotta...
I'm confused. What?
What about it?
What about...
Why can't they just use other people's parachute packers? Why do they need their own specifically? Why can't they just share parachute packers?
I feel like it's less of entitlement and it's more just logistics. Alright, you get your share, then you get your share, then you get your share.
Also, the difference between Special Ops barracks and the infantry barracks is really bad.
Well, I imagine Rangers always get special treatment versus
Like,
your standard 11 Bravos.
I was dating a private in Alpha, and his toilet never stopped running. His shower only had very hot and very cold, and there was no middle. It was just hot and went directly to cold.
Are we live?
Yeah. Wait, are we? Oh, yeah, no, we're good, yeah.
Welcome to Walk Without the Talk with your co-host, Justin.
And your host, me.
We're not going to have anything going on in the background now because we've had a really big change in podcast scenery and podcast location. That move finally happened. We are now currently in Jacob's gaming room. We aren't sharing a place like what was going to happen. There was a change in that plan.
I love saying the whole story out loud. Me and Justin are going to move in together. Then Justin's mom asked if we can have a third roommate. Then Justin introduces me to the third roommate. Then Justin ends up backing out. Then I end up getting with the third roommate. And then the third roommate and me move. And her... What? Me?
But I can do it better. And I wasn't even going to. Okay, so first off, it was going to be me and Jacob getting a place together. But then my mom introduced me to Bree and asked if it would be possible for us to help Bree get a place so she could get out of the bad neighborhood that she was in. I introduced the idea to Jacob. He liked the idea. So then it was going to be me, Bree, and Jacob, all three get a place together. Then eventually they found this place. It worked really well for them. Worked good for them, but it didn't work for me. It would make things easier for them on their little perspective, what they're trying to improve on. But there was only negatives for me. Changing where I was, where I'm living currently with my family to here would only make things harder for me. So I just decided to tell them, go ahead and get this place without me. So that's where we're at. That's why we're no longer having something going on in the background of these podcasts. Now it's just us talking. Jacob, is there anything you want to add to that? Did I miss anything?
I have a sweet-ass gamer.
Yeah.
Has a wine cooler, a fucking futon.
He gained so much with me not being here. I guess I'm that much of a leech, people.
No, not at all. Not at all. You got these Swifty sunglasses.
No, y'all can't see this, but I actually have a sick-ass pair of sunglasses that I'm rocking right now. And I know this is going to sound weird, but actually, these make driving in the rain easier because these actually make it easier for me to discern what parts of the road have like huge puddles of water formed or what parts don't. So these, cheap-ass gas station sunglasses actually make driving in the middle of rain easier. So I love them. Granted, they betrayed me approximately a minute and a half ago and stabbed me in the eye when I was trying to put them on. But, if that's what it costs to be styling and be effective, then gosh darn it, diddly, I will deal with that.
Being blind?
I'm not blind.
You will be.
Not be blind.
They're gonna betray you. Poke out your ass.
So yeah, lots been happening. We are currently maintaining the social distancing of approximately 6 feet.
No, we're not.
No, hold on. If we hug the corners of these,
We won't be able to hear us.
yeah.
I mean, it can probably hear me.
I'm loud enough that I'm sure that they can hear me.
This sounds really weird.
It probably is, but you know what? We're maintaining social distancing. We're being responsible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, yeah, you're good. Okay.
No, she's not. She's like two steps too close.
There you go.
Oh, now you're too close to him. You might just leave. Just leave.
So what do we got on the dinner plate today, Jacob?
You know that one joke where like you get inside of a girl and you start spinning with the Beyblade theme song in the background.
I thought you were about to say baby.
With the baby in the background. No, but you ever heard that joke?
No, I can't say that it's been in my repertoire of jokes.
No, you do like a helicopter, but not like the normal helicopter. You swing your dick, you like get in her, and then like you just start.
What, your physical body pivots 360 degrees while your dick stays like maintaining the same position?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of that joke, Jacob.
Well, the point is, Chris has found a video of that exact thing.
Why does that not surprise me one bit that all this traces back to Chris?
No, I've been making that joke for years. He sent it to me, and I lost my shit.
You know what Chris gives me vibes of? He gives me just more chaotic Sebastian vibes. Is that just...
Hold on, it's connected. It's connected to Bluetooth. Hold on. Let me unconnect to Bluetooth.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, that's...
God damn it.
That is...
You ever gotten in a bitch and just started spinning?
No, I can't say I have. Have you, Jacob? If you do, I have to ask some certain questions. I have to ask some certain questions to some certain people and get some certain answers.
I'm like a top motherfucker.
I've got like 3 people I need to ask questions about.
Wait a minute. I'm curious, what kind of questions are you gonna ask? Wait, what questions would you present to...
Well, first off, did you do that with any of them? The easiest would be Bree. Because she's going to be here in a little while, so I can just ask her that the second she gets here.
Oh, I'm recovering from it. I'm recovering from it. Beyblade.
So, just to derail just a little bit, I've been playing a...
Oh, man, if you're going to get that low, you got to come over here, but... You want to switch?
Okay. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead. Well, no.
You want to switch spots? You come over here, I can just turn the camera. I don't mind being in the middle. I don't need to...
But I feel like I'm going to be the louder out of us, too, so I feel like
yeah,
it's
but
gonna...
I can just...
Yeah. Okay. That good? Okay, yeah. So, we're just going to switch this up a little bit.
Fuck social distancing. We want to be each other's assholes.
I'm not accepting this. I will sit on you just to prove a point. You know damn well.
So I'm gonna eat your ass. Oh, fuck.
Jacob,
Wait,
I
what?
thought you weren't the bottom.
Yo, dude.
What?
I thought you weren't the bottom.
Your boy gets
That
thirsty
changes
sometimes.
with me. Trust me. So, recently I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, which I know that's a relatively older game. But I didn't play the first one, and I started playing the second one. And I gotta admit that the voice acting in the whole game really kind of just is a like alpha example of I might actually low-key really enjoy a career into that. Like, I feel like I could actually really enjoy a career into voice acting if I could pin down voice acting good enough. Like, actually get enough practice to be good with it.
I mean, I sure as hell hope so. Because, I mean, like, you know, you can literally just walk around anywhere and then just change your voice at any time. It's kind of a part of you.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, you can literally practice voice acting at any point.
Well, no, but just practicing it is one thing. Like, actually, there are people that get legitimate coaches. Like, it's something that you can get coaches to teach you how to be really good at voice acting. What do you think professional voice actors do? Do you think
I don't fucking know, man. I've never been like, oh, wow, I want to go.
No, like, professional voice actors can get, and a lot of them usually do end up hiring voice actor coaches. It's not something that you just, like, do on your own. You can be taught how to be really good at it. Now, some people just are born with voices that just naturally make them really, like, better for it. But you can actually go...
Okay, then what's, like, practicing for voice acting?
Pitch. Your pitch. Working on your pitch.
What?
And working on the depth. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert and I know into it, but I do know some of the basics that people have to work with. Lung capacity is one thing you also really have to work with. And some things like that you are just kind of born with. But there are things that you can train to make yourself better for voice acting.
Say pitch for me one more time.
Do you want me to say it the way I was saying it?
Okay, so you were doing that on purpose.
Yes, because I was giving you an example.
Pitch? Pitch? Pitch?
Yeah.
So anyways, point is, the voice acting in that game is really, really great.
Yeah.
And it's also just a really fun game, just in general. But it has reminded me about something. I really do seem to be, as far as like for, not a lot of games, but quite a few games and movies, I seem to be a little late, usually whenever things like, as far as the popular things, like usually I'll get around to things a little bit later than everyone else, and by the time I get to it, it's kind of like dead, which I kind of like, man, that sucks, but I guess it's just part of the beast. But at the same time, I feel like nowadays we consume and process all forms of media significantly faster.
Yeah.
Things get burnt out faster.
See, that's like, okay, I keep trying to play video games with Davion,
Mm-hmm.
but by the time I have any cash
I'm
or
the
anything to
same
get the
wa-
game,
yeah.
Davion's already moved 2 games ahead. I'm like,
Which that's not it for me. That's not the exact same issue for me. But what it really is for me, the second that I get into a game and start actually like, no, yeah, this is fun. I can see myself when I'm free wanting to dedicate time to this. By then, he's already moved on to the next thing. Davion is almost impossible to pin down in a form of entertainment to stick with that and have that be like a usual standard thing you do with him.
you know what he needs to do? He needs to go into like game testing and shit.
Oh,
Like, he'd be perfect.
He'd be great. Which,
He could test your game.
yeah, because we were just talking about this earlier about how
Yo, we got it right here. I'll go like design, like make the game. You'll be like the
Storyboarder.
actor in the game and the story, and then Davion will be the tester of the game.
the two things that I think I can be, because like this is going on a conversation that I was having with Jacob earlier. Currently, right now, my whole working on getting back in shape and dieting and going to the gym, that all got thrown, right down the shitter when this virus happened because the gym shut down. I started working, I went from working 8 hours a day to 12 hours a day. Just everything that could have happened that threw me off my nice little schedule I had going happened. So once this virus blows over and is finally passed, I'm going to go back to square one, get back on the track that I was on, get back in shape, go back to basic training again, and do a relatively small 3-year contract with the Guard. Once I do that and get that over with, I was talking to Jacob, I really feel like I have a innate love for entertainment production. Currently, right now, this weekend, I've spent a lot of my free time working on creating a D&D homebrew source book, and I'm going to try to get that popular enough to where I can present it to Wizards of the Coast, the actual guys that make official D&D content. And if they like it enough, it can be made into official content. And while working on this, I've realized that I really love just making entertainment shit. I like making stuff for games and the storyboard ideas, stuff like that. I feel like that I could have a legitimately career that I love if I went into the entertainment production industry. So that's what I'm going to try to go into once I go back into the garb. And you brought up a good point about how since he burns through games and just like they become, he knows them as well as the back of his hand so quickly. I think that's why he burns through games so much, is that he processes information so quickly. He learns everything there is to know about a game so fast that he gets
burnt out.
Yeah, kind of like Sebastian. The only difference is Sebastian doesn't have the burning out part.
Well, that's because the game he's gotten into is D&D,
which
is ever changing
a bottomless barrel. Yeah,
so he just keeps going like.
That's right.
What? Which I think that's kind of what happened to you.
I mean, it's a fun game.
And just, it is.
It's just, and granted, I think I realized that I have way more fun being a dungeon master than I do a player. Don't get me wrong, I love being a player. The guy Jacob can attest that I run through so many character ideas, and like I basically use my opportunity to be a player to test my acting capability, like how good I could actually be at acting and portraying a role, because I've gone through so many roles since I lost my first OG character. Since he died, I've burned through so many, and I've tested so many ways of acting and portraying a character. Like I've tried a very religious character. I've tried a very southern, or not really southern, more western cowpoke character. I'm currently portraying a very fancy, pompous character. But yeah, like that's really fun. But when I get to be a DM and I get to create a world, I get to create a lore and the environment and the characters that really inhabit the world. When I get to create that kind of stuff, I thrive more.
And then he gets to create scenarios where he throws players in and they fuck up pretty much 90% of the stuff he made up, and then he has to recreate and then create time loops.
Granted, okay, that's just the nature of being a DM. You make stuff with the intention for your players to break it.
Okay, that was 5 minutes ago.
But yeah, I don't know why. I have personally really discovered I like being a DM way more than I do a player, and that's not to say I don't enjoy being a player.
Sure.
But no, you're right. I have kind of fallen into that really good sinkhole that is D&D content, because one thing that I like the most about D&D that I personally feel like it has something going for it that no video game can compete with is D&D is powered by one of the most creative and unlimited sources of material, which is the human mind. It has a engine powering its creativity and its nature that no mathematical algorithm that's programmed into a video game can compete with. The amount of interpretation and the creativity that comes from D&D cannot be rivaled with by tech.
And I like that the books that they make, like spend year or so on, they give it to you. You look through, you're like, I don't like any of this. Throw it out. Make your own shit. Fuck that entire book.
Yeah, that is one of the funniest things about D&D is that despite the fact that it has all these official content books, all these official things, still at the beginning of every D&D book it states that at the end of the day, it's the Dungeon Master's call. He can completely throw things out of the book if he doesn't think that they fit his world, which I think is amazing. But yeah, I think that's really what I've been doing this last weekend. Has been working on that homebrew book, trying to get it finished, and then once it's finished,
how far off are you?
Currently I've got one race made, Half Dwarf. I've got 2 sub races made, Eldritch Genasi and Cosmic Azamar. Then I've got a subclass for Barbarian made, which was Path of the Gaia Spirit, which is just basically just a hippie nature barbarian. Then I've got a paladin subclass that I just finished before we started the podcast, which was the Oath of the Tomb, which is a paladin subclass that's all about... Oh, hold on. Okay. It's a paladin subclass that's all about drawing powers and stuff from... trying to think, hold on.
Tombs?
No, the undead. Yeah. It's a paladin class that's all about drawing power from...
Necromance.
Basically, yeah. It has a bunch of necromancy spells that it gains from the subclass.
A holy necromancer?
Yeah, basically. And they get to... their channel divinity is that they get to... up to 1 minute when they smite, they can deal necrotic damage instead of radiant.
What's the benefits of necrotic over radiant?
Some targets may be resistant to radiant, or some targets may be weaker to necrotic. Also, it's just kind of on theme for the class, or the subclass, because it's supposed to be power and strength from the undead.
Yeah.
And pretty much all undead things deal necrotic damage. Then the two subclasses that I've got that I'm going to make after we get done with the podcast are the Bounty Hunter Ranger.
I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot about that? You forgot about that, yeah. Just...
I'm just gonna...
This podcast always comes full circle back around to Nazis. Just every time.
I accidentally clicked on that one too. Look, out of all of these files I could have clicked on.
Yeah, no,
I
it's...
accidentally...
It all comes full circle. But anyways, the two subclasses that waiting on you. I'm waiting on you.
Processing.
You were just
Processing. I just have a bunch of like documents that mean nothing to me anymore. I'm like, what did I write that down for? What?
So the two subclasses that I have left to make after the podcast are the Bounty Hunter Ranger subclass, which is all about handicapping a target, applying a shit ton of debuffs to them, making it to where like they can't, like it's harder for them to pass saving throws and they have less movement speed. It's all about handicapping. Like it's a subclass focused on, I'm gonna pick one person and make just existing hard for them. Yeah, and then I'm gonna make a fighter subclass called the Specialist, which the whole point of that one is at 3rd level they'll get proficiency with a skill, and they'll get a fighting style, and then every time that they would level up in a subclass after that, they instead gain a feat. So they just gain, by the end of the game, they'll have like 5 or 6 feats, not including all the ability score improvements that they can forego to get even more feats.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the whole subclass is just based around, instead of gaining a thief subclass.
What is it, a fighter?
Yeah, fighter.
Is it, are they like made up feats or like...
No, feats from like the... Which granted, the source book that I'm making is going to add an additional 3 feats. But on top of those 3 feats they could choose from, they have the standard feats from D&D 5e.
So you're gonna make a broken character?
Well, it's not broken because they don't...
Motherfucker's gonna break
I ran
shit.
this idea with Jay first, and he actually believed it would actually be underpowered, if anything else. Because you forego the actually having a subclass to instead just get a bunch of extra feats. It's less about actually having something that you strive and thrive in. It's much more like, hey, I can eat a lot of mildly okay abilities to the table. It's focusing a fighter on versatility instead of being able to have something they can dominate over.
Okay. The way I just related that, I was like, okay, so you got somebody who's like specifically knows like one badass thing, then you got somebody just like okay, and a bunch of other random shit, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That hurt me. I'm like, what? Ow. Okay.
And then after I get, those will be the 4 subclasses: Paladin, Oath of the Tomb, Barbarian, Path of the Gaia Spirit, the bounty hunter ranger, and the specialist fighter.
Are you going to do anything with the wizards?
No, I'm not going to do anything with the wizards because the wizards got special treatment in the last book that just came out.
Well,
They got 2 subclasses. 2.
Who cares?
Yeah, what he said.
Um,
They need more.
no, they don't. Wizards already get special treatment.
Because they suck.
No, they don't suck. Rangers suck.
Rangers do really suck.
That's what I'm kind of hoping to change with this. I want to maybe with this subclass that I make for Ranger will be like have so much synergy potential that it will make the Ranger really relevant. Because I'm really hoping that I make this subclass reward team coordination and synergy so well that it's like, oh, we always want a Ranger bounty hunter because you combine that with a evocation wizard and you can just fuck over a dude. But so there's a 4 subclass. I got 5 spells that I want to make. I'm sorry, 6. 5 spells, 1 cantrip.
What are the spells for? Who are the spells for?
It's a split. The paladins and clerics get some. The wizards, sorcerers, and warlocks get the others. So the cantrip, 1 cantrip, it's called Ray of the Elements, where it's a pretty simple one. You can fire a beam that deals either acid, cold, fire.
Is it chromatic orb, just a blue array?
Mm-hmm, and it instead of you rolling to hit, you make the target roll a dex save. But it's a cantrip that uses a dex save, so if they pass, it's not that they take half damage.
They take nothing.
Yeah, they take nothing. That's kind of like how cantrips that induce saving throws, it's all or nothing. If they pass a saving throw, nothing happens. Unless you're a School of Evocation wizard. Because if you're a School of Evocation wizard, even if a target passes a saving throw against a cantrip, they still take half damage. School of Evocation wizards are pretty cool. So that's the 1 cantrip. Then one of the spells is Shackles of Judgment, which it's a 1st level spell where like 3 ethereal spectral chains originating from you wrap around the target. If that target moves 5 feet within the next 1 minute, it's a concentration spell, so you'll have to maintain concentration on it. But if for the next minute, if that target moves 5 feet, the chains break, and the target has to make a Constitution saving throw. On a fail, they take 3d10 necrotic damage. On a pass, they take half that damage. Really good for target control, am I right? And it can be upcasted, so if you castle that from like a 5th level
That's
spell
a first
slot,
level spell?
yes. 1st level spell.
Why at first level? That seems like at least 2nd level.
Here's the thing, though.
With that damage it's kicking, like, I feel like it'd be at least a 2nd level.
Here's the thing, though. There are spells that deal like 4d6 and 3d8 that are 1st level. The only reason that this gets 3d10 and inflict wounds deals 3d10.
Is that a 1st level?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. I don't have it.
But the whole reason that it gets to deal a lot of damage, but guess what? It's not like I can instantly cause this to deal damage now. It's I have to wait within 1 minute before target. It's target control rather than actually dealing damage. It's to encourage a target to stay still.
Does it still get the damage if after the minute's up, or is it?
No, if they don't move within that minute and you break concentration, then nothing happens. It's much less about dealing damage, and it's more about
Target control
and convincing that person to stand still while your buddy whips up on him. So there's Shackles of Judgment. Then there's Celestial Watcher, which is I'm debating if I should make it 2nd level or 3rd level. It will be a cleric spell, and what it is basically they form a little star, and when they cast it, they choose a person for the star to watch over. It lasts for 1 day, and while that Celestial Watcher is watching over a target, they gain the following benefits. They gain a D4 that they can add on perception checks, investigation checks, and initiative rolls. And they also cannot be put to sleep by magical means, and they cannot be surprised. I'm probably going to make it 3rd level because of all the stuff that it's going to provide. But this is basically, it's supposed to be a utility spell.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you get a bunch of little buffs that help you throughout the day. So you get a D4 to help you make, see shit better and not get cut off guard as much. And, you can't be put to sleep by magical means. So some bard can't cast 7th level sleep and put you to sleep. But yeah, no, that's going to be a utility spell that the cleric gets. Then there's Chromatic Weapon. I looked at, because a lot of these spells are basically me looking and saying, there's a lot of versions of that spell, but there's not one that does this. There's Shadow Blade, which is a weapon you can create that deals psychic damage. There's Spiritual Weapon, a weapon you can create that does force damage. There's, see here. I don't think there's one for radiant damage, but there's 2 weapons that you can form that deal psychic and force damage. Why not make a version of that, but instead make it deal elemental damage? So, Chromatic Weapon, I'm going to probably have it follow the same rules as Shadow Blade. It's just, it won't deal psychic damage. It will deal either acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder, or poison.
Chromatic Weapon, but in a sword version.
Yes. That's why it's called Chromatic Weapon.
You're really hanging out with chromatics there.
Well, those are the, not gonna lie, Chromatic Orb did influence the cantrip and the spell, that specific spell, but that's about it. Then there's Cosmic Barrier, which is, one thing I saw is that there's a lot of spells that provide temporary hit points, but pretty much all of them are on self. Like Armor of Agathis, False Life, they all provide temporary hit points, but you can only cast them on yourself. So Cosmic Barrier is basically a spell that allows you to touch a creature and grant them temporary hit points. So let's say we got a barbarian in our party, then our wizard upcasts Cosmic Barrier from a 6th level spell slot. They grant that barbarian 35 temporary hit points.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, so it's Cosmic Barrier is an abjuration spell that that grants you the ability to give your buddies temporary hit points, give your buddies shields, basically. Then there was Conjure Spirits, which I was talking to Jay about making this in his campaign through Doyle and Gabriel, but I saw that there's Conjure Spirits where you can conjure elemental things, you can conjure demons, you can conjure fey animals, but you can't conjure spirits. You can't conjure ghost or poltergeist or all the spiritual
Poltergeist.
Yeah, all the ghosts things that are in the CR, the ghost enemies.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be I haven't pinned down exactly the CR because that one's gonna actually take some time because I'm gonna have to use the other conjure such and such spells as a basis to determine the CR as to how many ghosts you can bring in or how many wraiths you can bring in, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's going to be that. See here, that was Ray of Elements, Cosmic Barrier, Shackles of Judgment, Chromatic Weapon, Conjure Spirits, Celestial Watcher. Yeah, those are the spells.
Hi, bud.
Howdy. Shit.
We're talking nerd shit right now.
Oh, the highest of nerd shit.
Yeah.
I really don't think that there's anything nerdier than Dungeons and Dragons. I really don't think that, you've hit the apex of nerdiness with Dungeons and Dragons. I really don't think you can get anything more.
Yeah, but some of the better stories come from it.
Oh, we have had so many fun things happen in Dungeons and Dragons. We really have.
Like me running around going, yeah, I accidentally summoned a bunch of dragons and wiped out an entire race one day.
Or there was that
My bad.
time where you spray painted a giant dick on the side of a Zeppelin. And then
then
a
we
tank.
rode that Zeppelin and tank into some sort of war.
Yep.
Okay.
And then there was the time that Sebastian broke the universe just because he kept a book secret from literal gods.
Sebastian be on some stupid shit sometimes.
Sebastian is amazing. I love the game-breaking potential that he brings to every session. Granted, I feel like Crimshaw has a little bit more game-breaking potential with the stuff that Crimshaw has access to versus what Aldrich does. Where
I think he's slowly setting Aldrich to be that though.
No, yeah, he's
slowly getting there. He's like, I want to be in charge of this business. I'm gonna send out hunters to hunt these things to come back.
He's working on eventually getting to the point where Crimshaw and Aldrich meet through some sort of cosmic disturbance across the multiverse.
You know, we could probably ask him to do that right now. He'd probably figure out a logical way.
No, he's already got something planned. You know he's probably got some, like, he's got, like, portfolios of plans.
He has a filing cabinet.
It's like that filing cabinet from Bruce Almighty, where when he...
just keeps going.
Yeah.
The things that go on in that boy's mind.
He really loves that game. I think it's funny. He's not a dungeon master. I'm a dungeon master, but he probably has more memorized about the rules and stuff than I do, which I find hilarious. There's been a couple of times where he's like, told Jay, "Hey, no, this is actually how it works." Like, even he's caught Jay a time or two, and that guy's got like 30 years of D&D experience. So whenever he's even able to stump him, that's when you know that Sebastian's got some damn dedication.
I think he's got like a not photographic memory, but like
no, I mean he probably has that as well.
There's no telling what he's got going on.
Boy's got a big brain. Basically, what we're getting at. He's got a very big brain. Speaking of which, oh, never mind. I thought that was him. I got a message on Messenger, and I thought that was him because I asked everybody in the D&D chat to review what I had made of the book so far.
Okay, I didn't actually read Seb's plan yet.
Oh, to get Narson?
Alright. Just go over. We asked in a group chat. Hold on. We asked how many plans he had cooked up for the D&D games. He says he has a few more businesses he wants to open up. So I told him to make a plan to kill things, such as the dragons or the demons we're going up against. He comes up with a story. Now, you're better at reading, would you like to go through his plans?
Why am I better than reading? So this is everything I'm about to read is what Sebastian sent in reply to
me telling him to come up with plans to kill things.
Yeah. If you mean for fights, we could plane shift that guy who took Narson's soul to heaven and counterspell him if he tries to plane shift back. Have angels beat the fuck out of him. Though might start a war. Are you talking about the devil or the dragon? Actually, instead of him, we could send him to Cronus level on Mount Celestia. That should take care of him, unless the gods can prevent our entry there. Sending him there might strip away his evil and actually turn him into our ally. Again, though might anger the ruler of hell and have him sick Tiamat on us and or / start a war with heaven. Which is funny because he kind of already started a war in heaven in another campaign.
I think that's what he's going for. Because
Sebastian unintentionally started a war in the Saturday campaign. Which, it wasn't really him so much as it was mostly Jay's character, Cole. Going back and visiting his wife early, which triggered the whole war in heaven. Long story to explain how someone visiting their wife triggers a war in heaven. But I'll try to get around to that another time. But he's like of this mindset of like, my God, I caused this, because he was the one that went back in time and gave Cole the hand of Vecna that allowed him to be able to do that. But I will tell you something that Sebastian is for sure guilty of, and that's breaking something far bigger than just heaven.
Oh, yeah.
He broke the universe! Sebastian's character used time travel in the Saturday campaign, and the result of time travel broke the barrier of the universe, and now a ginormous space squid creature that is the embodiment of hunger, is currently eating through that universe and is on its way to them. He did do that.
You know, we were sitting talking about how nerdy D&D is, but like I'm trying to like pin up some like game stories compared to some of that crazy shit, and I'm like, what? Wow, let's go shoot up people in the West on horses, or let's go break the universe with time travel and summon a giant space demon from hell that's going to eat everything. What?
Well, technically, in my world, you could do both.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But no, I think we've expressed more than enough over the past podcast that we've done how much we love D&D
And Dark Souls. Which are similar in a way.
Yeah, no, they're very hand in hand. I love looking at all the homebrew shit online of converting Dark Souls stuff into.
You gonna do that yet?
I kind of did it with the Abyss Watchers because I made that one boss that was similar to them. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was similar. But I mean, there are some boss fights in the campaign that they haven't came across yet that I guess you could describe as Dark Souls in nature. The fight with the creature that is currently eating through the universe, as I stated earlier. The embodiment of hunger from the abyss, which is literally just called the end. Like, that's what the actual name of the creature is. It's called the end. The fight with that, which hasn't happened yet, because that's kind of in-game stuff. But I guess you could say that that's probably gonna have Dark Soul vibes.
Hey, if somehow I killed Gabriel using the Fate Weaving, can we make it like
he somehow ends up in my universe? Is what you're? I can already read what you're trying to do, Jacob.
No, I just wanted to make it like, can we okay, sort of related. Before, without me killing him, can we make it like? How did when he used the book to time travel? What was that like? Yes.
Oh well, first off, it was kind of alright. So it was kind of horrifying. I'm not gonna lie, because basically what he did was he, in a way, rendered an entire universe from existing.
Yeah, no, I mean like the him getting from point A to point B. Was it just he was there?
Oh, for him, yes. Everything around him was not like that, but for him, yes. It was just like everything around him. Like this is how I described it whenever it happened. Okay. For him, it was just an instant flash of light, and then he inhabited his body from the past. But for everyone that wasn't him, it was slowly everything fading and everything being eaten by darkness.
What? Was that the embodiment of hunger?
Yes!
Jesus Christ. But no. Okay, I like to think, because you know how Jerry likes to, he goes like, the you see the strings of time.
Yeah.
I like to think Gabriel sees like the branches off and like just thousands of millions of infinite.
At one point when he was facing, he saw Kenku just,
Yeah, he's sitting there just like looking, and then it's just shit, and it's just it's just like what? And then I just see a fucking string disappear. And I'm like, shit.
Oh man,
It's another Weaver.
which I did. I cleared it up with Jay.
Is that
Fate
your
Weavers also exist in my world?
Can that be your version of Fate Weaving? Because like you know how like the there's always a man and there's always a
Yes, we've already talked
Can it
about
be
the
that version? Like I'm the Fate Weaver in that, and technically
Cripshaw is in the Well, no, Fate Weaving in my world, because I ran it with Jay because I did want to create some tethers between our universes for the potential for us to cross over in the future. But
Now, are we like future or are we just parallel?
honestly, I don't know. That's the
like
kind of
the
stuff that
I really enjoy the idea of parallel.
parallel universes.
That would make
Because right now, because I cleared up with him, because like, hey, I want to create some tethers between our universes for the potential to cross over one day. It was like, all right, what do you have in mind? I was like, I want to kind of connect Fate Weaving, but I want it to be a little bit different in my universe. So how fate weaving works in my universe is that the perception of fate weaving, the ability to foresee the future and the strings that connect people's fate, only comes through the astral plane. No other way. So people get their fate weaving in a way through dreams, because it only is acquired through the astral plane, which is the plane of dreams. So that's like the big difference between the two. Whereas in his universe, it seems to be much more. It's something that you study and harness and can control. Whereas in my universe, it's something that you don't get to. You just unintentionally are born with a tether to the astral plane to get this fate weaving.
I like the idea of the parallel, because it's the same, but that's one of the differences.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's big differences, but that's where it's the
theme.
same.
Yeah, the theme is that there's still fate weaving in both these universes. It's just the nature and how they work with the universe is different.
Can you please somehow work it out with Crimshaw as a fucking fate weaver and him run into each other somehow be like, you time traveling somehow broke the universe so hard it thought it broke you, and it's like, you're a fate weaver now.
Well, I've already hinted at the fact that in this campaign,
which one of them? Did you give one of them, or is any of the characters?
Oh, there is currently an NPC that is a fate weaver. The leader of the Yanreich Empire was revealed to be a fate weaver. That's why he has an empire in the first place, because all of the Yanreich nation, sees him as the best leader that could ever exist, because of the fact that he can foresee the future.
Fair enough.
He's an albino Yanti that has the ability to see into the future. Clearly, everyone that lives in the Yanreich Empire is like, he is the Messiah.
Worship him.
Worship him. No, I love the lizardy voices that I do when I'm playing the Yanreich characters.
Wait, what was that one voice that you did that I just started crying over?
Was it the Maxwell voice?
Oh no, that was one of them, but it was the more energetic, high pitched one. I apologize for dragging this out of him, but it was the more high pitch. I think it was the mayor or something like that.
Ooh, that one.
Yeah, that.
Well, that's basically the Doyle one.
Can you do that with
Doyle is basically the governor, just a little.
Do that, but with the lizard.
Oh, that. I don't even know if I can. Hold on for a second. First, I gotta get into the snaky voice. Gotta ease my way in there. I can't. It's physically impossible for me to convey the snake and
I can record
the energy.
you trying, and I can put it over this part of the video. Do it, Trey.
Hold on for a second. First, I gotta get back into the snaky voice. It's kind of like Birder from the Ginyu Force. Then once you're in the snake voice, you I try to hit that energetic high pitch of the governor as the snake, but it just comes out as. That's they're not cross compatible. They're just not.
Damn. All right, hold on. Ramble on about something. I'm gonna see if the guest is still here.
I'm gonna pause it real quick. We'll be right back, folks.
Just hit the little pause button.
All right, we'll be right back.
Oh, we were at 49 minutes.
Hold on, is it recording now or?
Yeah, it's recording. It's recording.
Hold on.
No.
I just wanted to get that out real quick.
Oh my god! I just.
Let's talk about that later. Just.
I mean, okay.
Because I just want to get your input.
All right.
So what were we talking about before we took a break?
Your voice.
Oh yes, my voice. What I wanted to try to get to with Narsen was basically this, just a deeper, more.
You want to get that generic warrior
Kind of, but at the same time, very informal. Because he was always like, "What the fuck is that?" Or, "That's I don't know. I'll be honest, I have no idea what
Crunk.
that is." Yeah, kind of.
You sound
Narsen
just
was
like
just
him.
Crunk.
You sounded
But
just
that's
like
that's kind of what I wanted to get with Narson's voice. Now then you got the chorus, and chorus was just southern. He was just a good
Southern.
good old boy from the south. Then you got Anderson, full-on Scottish priest, about as standard as they come. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Amen. Now we've got into Doyle. It's a little bit more exotic and flamboyant with his voice. Just a little bit. Just a little. Just a touch. Now I realize that I probably, if I was to actually sit down and look at it, I don't probably have the best voice, but I have fun voice acting, and I bet that I have I could probably sit down and, like I was saying at the beginning of this podcast, kind of bringing it full circle, get a voice acting coach and be legitimately good at it. But no matter what I do, I just kind of realized that I want to go into the entertainment production route. I want to get in shape after all this virus blows over, do my 3 years of the Guard, do my part to serve my community, and once I've done my part to serve my community, then I want to focus on going down that path of entertainment production. Once I've done my service and keeping people safe, then I want to go down the route of making shit that people find fun and they use it as their outlet whenever they're stressed, whenever they have free time. I want them to look at what I work on and be like, that's the kind of stuff that I want to do or listen to or watch or play whenever I have my free time, because it's fun and it helps me relieve all the stress I have at the end of the day. And that's pretty much the route that it looks like I'm going to go. How I'm going to do it, we're going to see, but that's pretty much what I'm going to do once I go back to the Guard and, do my fair share and serve my community.
Alright, you said it in stone. This is on here. It's going on the internet. It's on stone. We're going to come back to it when
I end up a murderer on the streets, we'll come back to this.
With 2 dead hookers in your trunk. High speed chase going down the highway. Heard it here. He wants to become a voice actor, guys.
Alright,
Let's go.
Alright, well, I think it's time to bring it into closing. Because last time we checked.
Justin, we didn't talk about Nazis this time.
We didn't. No, we did. They did get Nazis.
It got mentioned, but not talked about.
Nazis worked their way in. They always work their way in. They're really good at working their ways into hidden areas. All right. This has been Walk Without the Talk. Bet you did. No, I've already used that joke before in here. I can't do it again.
What?
I was gonna say I bet you did not see that coming, but I've already used that one.
Boy, it's funny. Hey, Hunter. Hey, bud. You see that stop recording right there?
Y'all have a good one, folks.
Hitler might have still been right. Just saying.